welcome to the last episode of the season of Agents of Travel, the show where we interrogate somebody about their previous trips, all in the service of coming up with their dream trip. I'm your co-host, Garrett Palm.
And I'm your other co-host, Rachel Van Ness.
And together we work for this secret travel agency. And yeah, we have a fun guest this week.
Yeah, we've got
Iffy in Nwadiwe.
Woo!
Iffy, I worked with at Smosh. You can see him on Dropout.
Yeah, and if he's also written for Twisted Metal as well as Grand Crew, some really lovely shows.
He talks about some of that and how he had to travel around his writing schedule.
The industry.
He's also got a bunch of podcasts. He's got a podcast called Maximum Film. He's got a podcast called Our Relationship Pod with Emily and Iffy. He's got a podcast called Bitcherton. And finally, he's got a podcast called TV Chef Fantasy League.
Wow.
That one sounds
right up our alley.
You know, if you're listening to this, you probably already know who Iffy is because he's everywhere.
Yeah, and he's an incredibly curious and funny and smart dude. So we're really lucky to get to talk to him about his stories.
Yeah. All right. Let's take it on to the interview.
Do you have a lot of art in your house?
Oh, yeah. I have. Let me see if I have a picture. I am a big, we are a maximalist household. So
that is my favorite kind of style of home.
Yes.
I don't know if I feel like that's what we aim for in our house. I don't know if it comes across.
There's a fine line between maximalism and clutter.
Yes.
Yes.
And we sometimes fall onto the clutter side.
Oh, don't worry. So do we. I mean, I just got reorganized, because there's just so much stuff everywhere because on top of everything, I have all these board games, I get all this D&D material.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it just ends up being so packed. I am looking for a new search because I tried to search art and apparently, the
iPhone image search it thinks everything is art.
Yeah.
A photograph is art.
Yeah. Which I was like, that's cute, but that's not what I was looking for at all.
Yeah, most of my games are up in the attic. I'm not allowed to have most of my games down here.
Oh yeah,
I've got some down there. And I've got some in my closet, but all the big nerdy ones are all upstairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they are allowed to be.
I guess I just have a low tolerance for things being out that we don't use that much.
Oh yeah. See,
yeah,
I'm kind of in the middle where I need things to be visible because of my ADHD. If I don't see it, then it'll never be used.
Yeah.
But then also I am the same way where it's if I'm not using it that much, then it shouldn't be around because then it's just taking up space that can go to something I use daily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in that constant battle. So yeah, here's the living room wall.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's
okay,
good art.
Yeah,
nice you gotta have enough.
Wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we've got a Dragon Ball Z guy.
Oh, yeah.
No shirt, no shoes, one brain cell. Very fun. Wow, 2 Dragon Ball Z guys.
Yeah, so that's
okay.
Bupak and Notorious B-U-U because it was this artist who did a Tupac and Biggie Boo, and I was like, I'm in. And then this MF Doom piece, it's on wood and carved out. My buddy, he made it right when he passed, and I was like, oh, this is perfect.
You have to have it.
And and then the other one's our friend Arthur's a dope artist, and he did a piece, and we a lot of these tiny little pieces are little done up.
Yes.
So yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys have a lot of good color on your wall too, though.
Yeah.
Which it's crazy how much having color in your space just makes me happier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. It just makes it pop more, makes it feel more, I don't know, homey.
Yeah. We do the accent walls.
Yeah,
too,
I know. I love it so much.
Yeah. Speaking of
homie, don't get too comfortable.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Because actually, Garrett and I aren't who we say we are.
You know me as Garrett. We've worked together at Smosh, but I have a secret identity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a secret travel agent.
Whoa.
Working for the National Travel and Tourist Office, otherwise known as NTATO.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
And as a secret travel agent, I have a secret travel name, a secret travel moniker.
Oh.
And that is Secret Travel Agent Sticky Toffee Pudding, because that's my favorite dessert.
Really?
Yeah.
Sticky toffee pudding is great.
It is great,
Yeah.
right?
And I am Secret Agent Pannenkoeken, which is Dutch for pancake, because I'm
Ooh.
Dutch.
But you also
Wow.
like Pannenkoeken.
Yeah, I also like
Yeah.
I'll fuck with Pannenkoeken too.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's my
Pannenkoeken.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If it was my favorite, I'd be Secret Agent Ice Cream Sundae.
But we got to give it a worldly dessert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Sticky Toffee Pudding is British.
Yeah, and Pannenkoeken is Dutch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have been tasked with very softly interrogating you for your travel stories so we can pitch you your dream trip, because we
Okay.
are competing for a promotion. And so
We don't want to be unpaid interns anymore.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's get you paid. Let's get like that. I'm right. Or at least one of you paid. It
Yeah,
sounds
let's
like-
get one of us paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't say who's winning right now, but somebody is clearly winning. And that's Rachel.
All right.
Well, Iffy, do you consent to this interrogation?
Of course, yeah.
Okay,
Let's
good.
do it.
Okay. So, our first question for you, Iffy. What was the first trip that turned you on to travel?
Ooh, I think the first trip that turned me on to travel in a big way was going to Nigeria for the first time. And that was, I believe, the first time I ever left the country. And I believe so because I had to go get a passport. My grandma passed away, and she was in Nigeria at the time, and we had to go there, and we were going for 2 weeks. We were spending 1 week in Lagos, which is the more kind of municipal city area, and then we went to Ogwashiuku, which is kind of more of what, most people would consider village, town. They call it home. They don't like, the term village, even though I feel like I don't think there's it's not a pejorative in any way.
Yeah, but if they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was an argument I had, but I was like, okay, since I'm going on a podcast, I will say both sides. I will also point out that I'm because when you say that, especially when I'm going back home to Africa, you know what I'm talking about when I say that. So, it was very just gorgeous.
How old were you?
At this time, I want to say 22, 23.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, and so which is also very interesting because I didn't leave the country till I was 22, 20. And I think about all these trips that all my friends or people I've dated have had where in high school they went, to out of town or foreign exchange programs.
Yeah.
And they don't have that in Compton.
Yeah.
They're y'all stay over there. I'm not coming. I ain't coming out here.
So at 22, first time out of the country, Nigeria, did you do... I mean, it's a lot of family.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to go to Lagos someday.
Oh,
it sounds
yeah.
awesome. Did you get to do much sightseeing?
Oh, very much so. Especially Lagos is I think I was too young and all my Nigerian homies are okay, you haven't really seen Nigeria till you went with your friends versus your family.
Yeah.
But I think even in spite of that, we got to see a couple of, I loved it. It just, there's something about seeing your cultural background, and when you go, I think it's the same way when I go back to New Orleans where my mom grew up. Mm-hmm. But just seeing all these spaces, seeing all these sites, and getting to see it for yourself because you have what your idea of Africa is, and then when you go and you actually witness it, you're oh, okay, now I know what it is, and I know what it is to me. I think going to the village was very fun because growing up, my dad had a lot of stories. He had a lot of oh, you don't need a ride to the movies because I walked 1,500 miles to go to school, and it was a block. I was
So you basically went back to learn that your dad's a fucking liar.
Yeah, literally. I was oh, because I'll never forget. We were walking, and it was this is the house I grew up in, and we walked for a little bit. It was this is where I went to school. I was huh. This isn't as long of a distance you were kind of putting on when you didn't want to take me places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have a question because a lot of people we talk to on the podcast say that when they go back to like the place their family's from or like their ancestral kind of like home, that there's this kind of like feeling of being like, oh, I realize like just how American I actually am. But it sounds like for you going that you were like, this rocks. Like there was
but there was still some of that because, you know, in my head, you know, I think it was my first time at the Atlanta airport too, which is like, you know, Atlanta, which like, you know, I don't know or think this would be a shared experience, but going like to the Atlanta airport, it was like kind of wild for me because it was like, oh, everyone here is black. Like this is a black city. Like this is like, you know, like going at this felt goofy, but at 22 going into like a TGI Fridays and everyone working, everyone in there, I was like, wow. And then the section that was like the Nigerian section, like it was, you knew it like had all the Nigerian colognes and perfumes that you grew up smelling in one place. And so, but by the time I get to Nigeria, I'm like, oh yeah, like this is wild. Like it's all of us. Like we all look like this. We like, I'm blending in a way I never have. And I was wrong. Kids would just be walking by and pointing at me. It was like, America.
What do you think gave it away?
I think there is like, you know, probably just different. Well, because like I feel like even though I grew up in LA my whole life, the humidity and heat in Africa, I think you're just already going to be just like a different kind of tan. And I think just the wide-eyed bushiness that I kind of walk around with.
Wearing a shirt that said Los Angeles.
Yeah. You know, in my American flag hat. But I do think there's just kind of like, probably in the way that I walked and moved. And it was just so funny because, you know, you would think like, oh, no one, and they would just like within seconds be like, America, give me money. You know?
Did you try to dress local while you were there?
Not necessarily. No, I still, and I think that probably is too because, you know, the different like clothing styles, because they have like access to everything now. But once you go back, you know, to the village area, like it isn't like, you know, no one's trying to be like super showy. And, you know, I was like 20 and I wasn't even necessarily super showy. And after this, I have a whole 1,000 photo, which that was before I learned the kind of like joy of photo editing. 1,000 photo. It's when I started my photography journey too. It makes it seem like I'm like a yogi. My photography journey. I just was wearing like this. It was my favorite shirt at the time. It's like a Seattle. It's green. It's Seattle, and there's like a thing playing tennis, and it was like a Target shirt that I had, and loved, and just jeans. So like, but like thinking back, I'm like, that's probably the dead giveaway. Is I was wearing like jeans, and it was like hot and humid.
Yeah. I remember in West Africa, there's a lot more like. I don't know, like almost dressing up. Yeah, like button-down shirts and like slacks.
Oh, it
everywhere.
Like changed. So at the time, and that was when I was still working for the LA County Register Recorder, and I always hated dressing up, specifically because my dad always dressed me up as a kid. So when I didn't have to, I was just like, no. And I would go and like the county. Like there wasn't really a dress code. You can wear like jeans and a shirt. Like they would prefer it if you wore like a button-up shirt, but like
they didn't force you.
There's no like strict dress code. And like seeing like my cousins get ready for their banker job and put like their like suit, like their shirt and tie with the button up, like that like inspired me because I was like, damn, like it's almost like. Not necessarily dressing for the job you want, but I guess dressing for the job you have. You know? And I was like, so I came back and I went to like Marshall's or something, bought a whole bunch of like slacks, a whole bunch of dress shirts, a whole bunch of, and like did like, you know, before like get ready with me was really a thing. I think, what was the thing we were doing back then? It was kind of like almost outfit of the day.
But you reclaimed fancy for yourself.
I went to Nigeria and discovered dressing how I probably should have been dressing the whole time I was working there. But it became fun. Yeah.
Well, Iffy, can you tell us a story about your best trip?
Oh man, I have so many. As as a comedian, I get to travel so many places. I'm already got some in the docket that I'm super excited about. I'm going to Australia.
Nice.
I'm gonna be doing PAX Australia, so I'll be out there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I love like the fun thing about what we do is, and y'all, Smosh was really what made me want to go to Australia, because y'all talked so highly of it and just how the experience was, that I was like, I got to get out there. And so I literally, because I do stuff with PAX all the time, I was like, give me in Australia. He's like, it's another team. I was like, talk to him. So now it's worked out. I'm doing a comedy tour while I'm out there, but I'm also getting to spend time there. But the one trip that I've always wanted to do my whole life, because I was a big, anime weeb, loved it. I wanted to go to Japan. And Japan was such a journey, because it was funny. As adults, we kind of have that realization every now and then where we remember we're like, wait, we're adults, we can do what we want, right? And Japan was always kind of out of reach, because I just wasn't in a traveling family. We didn't really go too many places, and I was the only one who wanted to go to Japan. And there was a moment where I was like 2019, which is very important to the story. I was like, I was like, oh, I make like a good enough amount of money that I can tuck money away so I can go on this Japanese vacation. And I have a friend who lives out there, Pierce. And I was telling him, I was like, oh, I'm going to go. He was like, well, if you come, just let me know. And, we can work something out. You can crash with me or something. So I was like, oh, that's like, I have it all set up. Next year, I'm going to go to Japan.
Yep.
Next year, we had the pandemic lockdown, and Japan locked down harder than anyone. They were like, no.
And for longer.
Yeah. And so I was like, damn. I was planning to do this. I can't do this. And then I'm doing stuff with Twitch at the time, and they had the 2020 Olympics. So then Twitch was like, hey, do you want to be a host for the 2020 Olympics?
What the hell?
Yeah, because they were doing a joint partnership with NBC, and I was like, I got my passport renewed. I was getting all the visas and stuff. And then I got hit up by my buddy Phil, because I signed up it was 2021, because I think it was supposed to be 2020. They pushed it
a year.
Yeah, so 2020 I couldn't do it. 2021 comes around. I get this. I'm stoked, and I'm like getting. And at the time, I did Super Punch for a year, and then I was like, I was trying to get another writing job, and I got real close with Rick and Morty, and my buddy Zig got it. I got real close on another thing that kind of fizzled, and then I was like, well, shit, I have this time. Yeah, I'm going to do it, because they were going to need me in Japan for a month. So I was like, okay, I get to go to Japan for a month on someone else's dime with a per diem. That's the dream. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I get the call from Grand Crew, which I interviewed for. And I was like, and he was like, hey, we want to give you the job. And I was like, okay, just out of curiosity, if I was going to be gone for a month, let's say this August, would that be possible? He's like, nah, dude, we're going to need you in the room. I said, okay. So I had to turn it down.
Whoa.
So I had to turn it.
Is always,
You turned down Japan?
Turned down Japan. Damn. Because the money that it was going to be good money, but the money I would make writing.
For an NBC show.
For an NBC show.
And with some of your closest.
Some of my closest friends. Yeah. And on top of that, for a little inside baseball talk, at the time, I was most notably known for a lot of unscripted work or late night work. I did At Midnight. I did Black Card Revoke. I did You Could Do Better on True TV. And I was trying to break in a narrative. And these are all kind of different columns of writing. So if you and it was hard. It's hard to make the jump.
It's hard to
make the jump, and it's even harder because you got two things going against you. I took this at staff writer level, even though my experience said I should be higher. But that is tough because I'm higher with not the adequate experience, so it would just put me in this pinch. And I was like, no, that's fine. I'm fine because there's like behind the scenes, they're like, oh, well, you need I was like, nope, I'll take it. I'll do it. And so I got in, and that's what kind of started me on the narrative stuff, which let me go to Twisted Metal and then come back to Grand Crew, and then the writer strike happened, which is very good.
Yes.
Do you ever wonder, like, what would have happened if you had made the other choice? Like,
never, because Twitch, it feels like a dying platform. All my friends who I knew at Twitch like don't work there anymore, so it was very much. And I wanted to be very like smart. Like that's such a great question, because that's what I did consider. Because like if it's just like my buddy Phil, like I'm confident in him, he'll get a season 2. I'm sure I would have got in on season 2, but I was like, this is an overall push forward for my like career. Whereas like I do this one thing for Twitch, and I just feel like Twitch hosting stuff and like Twitch doing your own Twitch channel, they don't really ever feed into each other. Like I said, at this point I've hosted Fresh Stock.
Yeah.
I've hosted, Super Punch for a year, which was the only one that helped my Twitch channel, and that is simply because we were doing it remote. So then I would be rated by the show with all the front page viewers after, but then I wasn't consistent enough because I book a writing thing or an acting thing, and so I was like, this is just better for my career as a whole.
I do love. Oh,
well, no, go ahead.
I was going to say,
I do love that the story from your best trip is the trip you didn't go home.
No, he did go, because I remember talking. You went a little after we did. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we were
I'm
chatting.
Giving too much lore, but
I know.
But I'm gonna jump right into it. Sorry.
I remember chatting right before you went. Yeah.
Yes. So we I'm writing on the second season of Grand Crew, and I was like, I make enough money. I've been trying to do it. I missed it. I'm booking the Japan. Oh, yes, I couldn't go. This is why, because Japan was locked down.
Yeah.
So that's so I couldn't go, and then I saw very early, they were like, okay, we're allowing people to travel, but with tourists. And yes, because I told you, I was like, I'm going to take a gamble.
Yes.
I think they're going to fully open by next year. I'm buying the tickets now. I got round trip for both me and my partner for $600 to Japan. And because no one was able to get let in, so they just had them low. And then literally as like a month or two later, they're like, it's open to everyone. So I locked in the cheap for super cheap, super cheap. I locked in the trip for super cheap and was able to go. And my buddy Zig, who went with us, it was $600 just for him after it was announced, because he wanted to wait till it was announced to buy his ticket. But I was like, I feel the trend.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Because we went over Christmas that year. And so
because we talked about that.
Yeah. So our flights were a little more expensive because it was during Christmas. But we did buy them before it opened up, and that really was, and like started buying the or booking hotels, and we locked in.
We got to stay
it was
at
so
a
cheap.
Ryokon for so cheap. Got to do stuff we never.
I know
would have been able to
nowadays,
afford
but you stayed at a cool place.
You
showed me. Yeah.
So this is the reason I give so much lore is I need you to know this is like, how growing up you have the lifetime trip, the goal, the bucket list. Yeah. That is what Japan has been to me. Like up until this point, Pierce, who's my buddy who lives out there, we used to work at Disneyland, and we were both like weebs. He loved like J-punk and Japanese rock music. I loved Ultraman and anime, and we kept talking about how we were going to get our English degree, go over and do the like Japanese, because there's like a program JET, and he actually did it, and I didn't. But so he was the friend who I was like, oh, I'll get in touch with. But also like I used to listen to the Ghost in the Shell standalone complex soundtrack at night on repeat, and just close my eyes and imagine what it would be like to live in Japan. Like I wanted to see this place. And I remember there was a really good blog there called at the time called Gaijin Smash, which was about this black guy who went over and did it. And he was pretty much like, I want to break this idea that Japan is this like is just another place. He was like, because basically he was like, I was getting ready to move there, I was super excited, I was a big weeb, I was worshiping Japanese culture, and then as I was sitting to go on the plane, I realize it's just another place. And I remember I got so mad reading that. I was like, no, but then like, and so I was, but knowing that, I was so afraid. I was like, oh, maybe, am I going to go and this is not going to live up to my expectation? Mm-hmm. No, not true. I lived up to every expectation. It was the best trip ever. So the first time we get there, I'm staying in Tokyo, and then my friend Atsuko Katsu, who's an amazing comedian, was going to be out there too. And so we were like linking up, and then I have a friend who I met through Twitch, whose name in chat was Scott in Tokyo. I had like connection, and Scott is a triple double OG because he was able to, because there's certain things that foreigners didn't have access to, like the Ghibli museum, the kids one. He was able to buy tickets, and the culture of Japan is so sweet because it's specifically to block out foreigners, but like he was able to buy them and then write a letter and scan his ID that was like, hey, my friends are coming in town and I wanted them to see this, so I got them this ticket. And they just read and they're like, okay. I was like the way like the stuff that's culturally like that works, because I think it's almost like they don't like the foreigners because of the bad ones. So when you have a Japanese person kind of vetting you, they're like, all right, yeah, you can come through. Mm-hmm. But the first week I was just like walking. We were staying in Shinjuku because I knew I wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. And I was just walking around. I was walking distance from the Godzilla Square. And this is actually good important information for y'all. The first week we stayed in an Airbnb, because with me, when I travel somewhere, I don't tend to like a hotel. I like to stay in an Airbnb because I want the experience of like, oh, what is it like living here? What is it? So like getting an Airbnb is so fun to me because it's like cool, especially if it's like a little ways out. It wasn't really. It was like probably 3 blocks from like the big square. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I like the act of like at the end of the night, going to an apartment, open it up, showering in your own place, turning on the TV, see what's on the local news.
You want to cosplay.
Yeah. I just want to know what that experience would be, because like technically isn't traveling just shopping for a potential place to live, right? Yeah. You know? So I walked down, was in Shinjuku, saw the arcades. And what was dope, so we originally went out there because we were trying to go to Evo Japan. I wanted to go specifically for IDOM, who is his story was amazing at the time because he just won Evo Las Vegas, and Street Fighter is a game that's typically dominated by Japanese players. Daigo, the history, the last kind of big U.S. Japanese beef was with him and Justin. I don't think it's Justin Wong. It might be. But like, and Justin Wong, hometown hero, he was playing in the arcade in Diamond Bar. So I knew, so IDOM, who's this black guy who like is this huge upset. He kind of was in the loser bracket and made his way all the way up and wins the championship. Now he's going to Japan, the home turf, to play in Street Fighter. I was like, I gotta be there. I gotta be there to cheer your mom. He had COVID and couldn't go. So then I was like, I don't care about Evo anymore. That's more time for me to hang in Japan. Yeah. My other buddy, he was like going there, so he wasn't able to do all this stuff, but we went to the fish markets. Suzuki fish market. We ate we saw the Gundam. That was the one that I think it's not around, but they're putting a new Gundam there. Went to Harajuku. I went to Nagoya, met up with Pierce. Saw him and his band play, which was so wild to just see like him in just like his punk garb, because I like, Pierce, we hung out at work, so I only saw him in our like, Disney. Honey, I Shrunk the Audience outfit. His true self. Yeah. And so he's just like, but I knew he had a mohawk because he did the typical like when you're not hawked up, you just push it to the side. And so like he has this big mohawk. We go down to eat, and he's just in his punk gear with the mohawk, and I'm a big black guy. And I remember a Japanese guy walking down the street, looks up at us and goes, whoa. Because he just wasn't ready. And it was just like fun hanging with him. And it was like interesting because like Pierce is like a taller, lanky white dude, but when he speaks Japanese, it's like turning dubs on. Like he has the accent down. I mean, he's been out there for 10 years. So he's like, it's like so interesting to like witness and getting to catch up with him. Then I went to Universal Studios, which, you know, some of the rides didn't fit me. They're like, it's Japanese sized. I was like, what do you mean? And they tried to close it on my thighs. It did not work. But I did go on the Jurassic Park roller coaster, which then happened after that. So I was like, maybe he was right. Maybe this is going to open up, which made the ride way more scarier. And then we went up to Hokkaido because I snowboard.
Oh, I really want to go to Hokkaido.
And we took the train in the Hokkaido. Like because we went to the Ghibli Museum, we went to Ghibli Park, which is gorgeous, is amazing. But I think the truest Ghibli experience is going to the countryside, because we went on the Shinkansen, then we took a local train, and then because we're going to the mountain, it was like just a like 2-car scoot train that made me feel like I was in a Studio Ghibli movie. And then we just were snowboarding, and you're looking at the most gorgeous mountains that you've ever seen, and then there was a private onsen that we got to stay in. And the whole time, like, this is my only regret, is we knew we were snowboarding, so we packed it, and so we're just like schlepping around Japan whenever we're switching places with all this gear. And we get there, and all we needed was a snowboard, and we get to the rental, and we're like, yeah, of course because I was like, oh, maybe they might not have my size. But like, it's a destination sport, so like of course they have, like, the beds were like bigger than anywhere else. They like everything was just sized like for foreigners, so it was like such a good experience. And then we came back to Tokyo for the last run and just like did karaoke and just hanging out. And for me, that's the more fun stuff. Like, I do like, you know, next time I go back, I do want to see Hiroshima. I do want to see some of these temples, but I think I'm more of a like live the city life, like live amongst the locals, and see, like, live life like them. Like, for example, whenever I do cruise stops, unless it's one of those unfortunate cruise tourist islands, I like to get in a cab and go as deep in the city away from the dock as possible, so that I can do what's like, see how everyone's actually living.
Well, okay, so speaking of this incredible Japan trip, although maybe this isn't going to be it, what's the tastiest thing you've eaten on a trip?
Oh, man.
Best dish?
Man, I think I'm going to, on a trip, give that to, I just went there so I did a show in Leicester Square in London, and she was on Chef's Table. It was Darjeeling Express. I went to Darjeeling Express, and it was so funny because I don't know how she got clued in, but she realized I was there to do a show and performance. So the chef comes out and meets me and takes a picture with me and like shares and goes, "Oh, Iffy, have a great show, break a leg." And that was like so cute, because I was like, I was looking at her where it's like, no, because I love to eat. I love, and I am very much like of the Anthony Bourdain mindset. Anywhere, like, you know, my best dining experience ranges to going to like something like Darjeeling Express and like in Naka out here, to like in Ogwashuku, the village in Nigeria, sitting on a, you know, turned up milk carton, drinking a Star beer, and just with my cousin. Like, I was like, I love that. And but if I had to pick, I think what's currently holding the title for on a trip meal, it's gonna either be Darjeeling Express or this like whole, like, I ate the most uni I've ever had in my life, because there was you know how there's shops next to this Tsujiki fish market, and there was one that was specifically for uni, and uni has always just been like uni, but this place it was kind of like caviar, where it's like, no, there's different flavors. And so I just had like a platter, and it was so amazing to see like the sweeter ones, the more briny ones, and it just kind of opened my mind, and it was like super fresh. But I think because the chef came out and was nice to me, Darjeeling's gonna take it.
The uni guy was kind of like, slow down, leave some for everybody.
I know.
Hey, Who are you?
I'm just munching. I'm gonna try and see if I can find her name.
For Darjeeling Express.
Yes, Express.
Darjeeling Express.
Got it. Okay. Now I got to go to the About Us.
Kind of embarrassing. She knew your name.
I know.
Yes, I know.
Ozma Khan. Yeah,
Ozma
okay.
Khan.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's
so
a big deal.
Oh, I feel like I've seen her on Top Chef. As
Yeah,
well.
yeah. We've seen
It
her.
was such a sweetie, like
Yeah.
truly, like coming out and being like, "You got a big show," and like so.
That's
And to me, what
great.
made that actually to be on my Ratatouille, a movie I've never seen.
Yeah.
I've just heard enough to get this reference. I had a whole argument with. I do a show called TV Chef Fantasy League where we do fantasy drafts on competition cooking shows, and I was messing with Sierra who loves Ratatouille. I was like, okay, who's really the chef? Ratatouille or Linguini? She's like, Ratatouille. I'm like, okay, but if Linguini's hands are doing it, so I'm not going to pull us into this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, you haven't seen the movie, so it's ready.
yeah. See, that's the defense you could use. But just Asma coming out and like being sweet and like just like sweet like auntie energy just reminds me of like getting like home cooked food for from friends and things like that.
Yeah, well, and that's always like nice when a restaurant makes you feel like you're at home.
Yes.
Like you feel very taken care of.
Yeah.
She still follows me too. I thought she might have. I thought I might have scared her away. Thought I might have scared her away, but she's still
there.
She's still there. Okay, Iffy. What tourist attraction lived up to the hype?
Oh, baby.
I know, I'm sure a bunch.
But you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The giant Gundam. Like the giant.
The one that moves?
Yes, the one that moves.
Yeah.
And it was about to, because now it's not up. And it was in its like last runs in Yokohama. And also there's the gift shop is spectacular. You can get so much gunpla. Oh, man. So it was like moving, and I think what was so good about it is it's such an insight, which may seem silly to say, but such an insight to Japanese culture and the differences within it, because the Gundam project was to make a operational Gundam and for it to or I think a Gundam that walks, and what it can do is it kneels, and it's like, and it's still very impressive, but when you read the wall, it's an apology, because it says, I know that we said that we were setting out to make this walk, but there was no way to like safely test something that large walking, so they kind of settled for kneeling, and they also said that they weren't sure of the structural integrity, so it's like this impressive feat that has an apology next to it because it wasn't as awesome as they originally set out to be. Whereas I feel like, American culture would be like, well, we made it kneel. We mission accomplished. We're done.
We did.
We're like, here's a big ball of twine.
Yeah. Check that out. Have you seen
We never said it would walk. We never said that.
Yeah. Prove that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so what has been your biggest fish out of water moment while traveling?
My biggest fish out of water moment has to be when I went to Buenos Aires, Argentina. Because, once again, growing up in LA and kind of taking Spanish up to Spanish 3, did not pass Spanish 3. I actually left Spanish 3 early. But up to Spanish 3, I have felt I've had a decent grasp on Spanish, especially the Spanglish that I speak when trying to be fancy out here. And in Argentina, they only speak Spanish. They do not speak English. They only. So it was different. Whereas like if you went to Mexico or somewhere like south of the border, where like if you kind of stumble, they'll pick up the pieces, and it kind of in your brain feels like you're able to speak good enough Spanish, like your assessment, your assessment of your Spanish is much higher.
I love that you're like, I'm James Bond.
But out here, the moment you don't have the word, they're just looking at you, and then you'll kind of say it in English, and they're like, So
I don't know if it's the same as in Chile, because that's where I studied abroad. But I know in Chile too, people were kind of like annoyed, like.
Yeah,
because in Colombia, people are more like, no, try. And in Chile, they're like, don't talk to me unless you're good at this.
There wasn't like an annoyance. It was just kind of like a,
can't help you, man.
Like there's no, and it was so funny because I think the to really hit the fish out of water moment is I was on the bus, and this is like days of realizing I can't really communicate with people, and like my wife at the time, who was Argentinian, was doing all the speaking in Spanish and some of the kind of like translating, and I get in the bus, and then I see black people come in, and I was like, oh hey, and they don't speak English either. And I was like, okay, like it is really just me. And and to me, like, you know, it just makes it so much more impressive when you just think about how many people come to America and know how to speak English, and how many people speak multiple language, and how, like, my dad didn't teach me how to speak Igbo because the doctor told him it might confuse me as a child, which is just like a weird tactic to make people assimilate, you know?
Yeah.
But I felt that way in Chile a little bit. I mean, I was speaking Spanish, but there was like a time when I couldn't I was just trying to say I was disappointed, and I didn't know the word for it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you know, like, try to, like, give examples. I'm like, when you want to go to the movies, and then it falls through and you can't go, and they're like, we don't know what you're saying still. And it's like, there's something that's so, I realized, like, I call it like emotional constipation almost.
Yeah, because like
you realize how stunting it is to have people not like they can't see you.
It's so funny because the that's where like all the like improv training comes, because my instinct is when they're like, what do you mean? It's like, for those who are listening, this is an audio medium. I'm kind of making a pouty face where like, you know, but it is like, even knowing that now, here in the comfort of your home, in those experiences, your emotions just stop. It's like we don't realize how like integral like the language is to us, that we forget all other ways to communicate. We don't even think to do charades because we're like, okay, I'm gonna use word association, and
you're like, but literally I don't know what to do now. I'm just like picture you sitting on the bus feeling so sad and alone.
Well, to me,
how did you feel?
For me, it's like exciting. You know, I feel like I feel like I am the extrovert in the sense that I like meeting new people, being new places, and being like out of that element. I think when it really kind of felt like it sucked was when it was like talking to her family and not being able to really communicate. And you do feel kind of dumb. You know, like, and it just kind of totally kind of like changed my attitude towards people who can't speak English or have trouble with English, because now I knew how that feels, where it's like, I'm an intelligent person with all these words in my head, but to this person, I'm just like kind of dumb.
Speaking gibberish.
Yeah.
Because like, how long were you in Argentina for then?
Probably about like a week.
Yeah, because it's like when you're there, when you're kind of microdosing it, like not being able to speak the language, it is exciting. It is kind of fun. You know, it's like you're not living there. You know, like Rachel was in Chile for 6 weeks, or you're not like.
Did you feel like you
living
were
somewhere?
Sorry to cut you
off. No, you're good. You're good.
Did you feel like you picked it up more the longer you stayed, though? Because that's always been my theory.
You have to go. I've noticed that I have to go through phases. Like, you get there and then you're like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. And then, like, this happened to me in Spain. I was there for a week by myself, and my brain just completely crashed.
Really?
It started to be like, I can't understand a single thing anybody's saying, even though I understand. I can speak Spanish, but I just couldn't do it. My brain just shut down. And I think, like, staying in a place long enough that you get past that and you just have to keep going, because the mental exhaustion it's kind of crazy.
Well, when you're in a place like that too, you know, we're talking about the talking and the conversations, but also all the signs are in Spanish and all that. So it's like your brain is working overtime, because it's like, okay, I'm trying to translate this. I'm trying to translate the conversation. Also, like, the thing with Spanish too is it is such a swiftly spoken language. And then you said Chile and Spain.
Yeah.
So that's like trying to learn English and going to, like, you know,
Scotland.
Alabama.
Alabama and
Scotland.
Yeah, like in Chile, they have Chilenismos. So they say they put in, like, sipo is something they say a lot. Like, po is just like their version of like. Yeah. They're just like sipo. Like, they're just saying po all the time. Yeah. And it means nothing.
I know. And it's funny because I think we tend to think that, you know, we said like Louisiana and Scotland, right? Where we think that's the range, but really it is like Louisiana and New York. Because I remember when I first started doing podcasts, people would be so like angry and I'm in my head about it now because the moment I mention it is the moment I get like very vigilant, and then I start to constipate my words.
Yeah.
But how much as a Californian I say like,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, why do you say like so much? Why do you? And it's like, well, yeah, I was like, because I'm Californian. And I was also, I think it's better than you know, that's because if it's not like it's everything you do, but also, you know, a lot of the people who are saying that are people who like watch content that has all of it cut out.
Yes.
Yeah. And fun sidebar on NPR. Apparently, there's a woman was being interviewed, and she wrote an entire book on the word like.
Oh.
Wow.
Kind of exploring why it's thrown into our language and what that actually means about it. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go.
Okay. Iffy.
Yes.
If you could step into any moment from your travels, anytime you wished, which quintessential perfect moment would you pick?
Ooh. Quintessential perfect moment. Any moment, anytime from any trip.
Yes. That you could just dip into anytime you're like, oh, this is going to be a rough day. I just want to dip into this moment for a second before I get going.
Gosh, there's so many of those moments. And but I'm trying to diversify because I'm trying to give you more trips, you know, because it's like, since Japan was the bucket list trip, this could very easily been the pod where all the questions were in Japan, but I want to give you variety.
I appreciate the restraint.
Oh yeah. So I will say when I was in Nottingham, because I went to Warhammer World when I went to London, but you can go to the castle from it's not Peter Pan, or is it? It was Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah. So there's the Nottingham Castle that you can go, and then there's like the oldest pub in the world, and you go in, and it's like dank, and it's like very old, and you just see the age on the walls, and I just remember grabbing a seat, and I wanted to be inside because I wanted to be next to the walls, and I think I had shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
I had a nice red ale, and I was just in there eating, and I think to be in there, and it was such a fun vibe because everyone was just, it was like I think there's just an energy to pubs in the UK in general. Can't wait to go to Ireland because I fuck with the Irish heavy. Shout out to Sinners. I was fucking with the Irish before Sinners. But out there, it's just very, you know, there's just like this community and family nature. And even though this was kind of like a tourist attraction, there still were locals there, and just to like take in these moments where we're just sitting there and taking it all in and just like enjoying the space, but also knowing the history of it. I think you're
in the Sinners scene where everybody's dancing.
That's so
and you're
wild
like,
because
me.
I was thinking of the sadder one where like it's the song that's at the very end where it's like in the last time in a long time, which is inappropriate because no one's dead. But yeah, very much that way where it's like I'm in the Sinners. I'm in a place that these walls have seen so many generations and people, and that's really kind of fun.
Yeah, it is cool to think of those old spaces like that, and just like all the people that went through there. Like I studied abroad in London, and we went to the Cheshire Cheese, the oldest pub in London, where like all the old writers would hang out there, and that was just cool to think about all the writers that had been there.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's the same place, but I don't think it's not. It is because it's Nottingham and London, but you know, Nottingham is not London, but it is close enough.
Yeah, this was down by the Thames.
Okay,
so this was central London.
I also feel
Which
like
I always want to call Thames.
I also think being like American too, it's like when we're in places that are just like so significantly more ancient, we're like always kind of like floored by that.
Yeah.
Oh,
like that's not something we really take for granted.
Yeah, because like I feel like the versions of that you get out here are nature, which I do kind of like that we have. Is that, you know, when you go, Ye Olde Trip to Jerusalem is the name of the pub.
Whoa,
interesting.
Yes, that's the oldest pub in Nottingham history, but I don't know if it's the oldest pub. Wikipedia, I love Wikipedia's like disconnection where it's like it claims to have been established in 1180 because they're like, we don't know.
We don't really know. Yeah.
But but when you go to the Grand Canyon and you're like, oh, this is that version. Like this is untouched, unscarred, because it is kind of easy to forget that like America is a young country, because America, like in regards to like our time on this planet, it feels like, oh yeah, it's like, it's been around, but no, it's a young country, and it just doesn't quite, tap into that. And everyone's always like, it's the architecture, but I'm like, but I think our sequoias are, when you go to Zion, you go to, like, I was like, that is untouched, and that is almost even more powerful because we're talking about old man-made things, nature being disturbed, and nature itself, when left unfettered and respected by the people who were on it before, you see so much more beauty.
Yeah, agreed. The forests around Portland are always that to me too, just like right outside of the city, and like all the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to think like, oh, what is our thing? It's like, well, think of where all the tourists go. Yosemite, Zion.
Like, I know. It's because it's like you almost, I feel like with the history there, it's like just beautiful nature. And any other history, we're not. America's young, and our crimes are even younger.
And we've done a lot of bad things in a short amount of time. But I think a lot of countries, I think you can look at Europe, and they're not as recent. Well, no, some of them.
Oh yeah, I mean some of them. Yeah. But I know what you mean. Where it's like, because there's like an element, right, where it's like, the distance doesn't take away, like, they still have the same kind of mire, but I think like the old Southern architecture are these antebellum homes that were used for slavery. And it is funny because you do go to these like old European places that also have the same kind of like like old places slaves were, but it was like centuries ago, and it wasn't what everything was built on. So
and a lot of the bad things they did was elsewhere.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Elsewhere, like a lot of the European crimes in Nigeria. That's where we say in Nigeria. But I think there's just something with the older architecture, and I think when you have more of it too, right? There are things that consider, like, I love when you see the old kind of like Western preserved homes, or like even old Sturbridge Village that has those like colonial homes. I think those are great. Those are like good times that can at least not be directly linked, And I think that's the benefit of like a pub, where it's like it's a pub,
just people hung out.
Iffy. Is there a local custom you've observed while traveling that you've implemented or wish you'd implemented into your daily life?
Ooh, yeah. There's a few. I think just in general, Japan, all the toilets are.
You got a bidet now?
You should check out our toilet before.
Okay. All right. I will. Thank you for inviting me to take that dump. You did give me coffee, so you invited it. But yeah, I know like everything. And also what I love about the Japanese bathrooms is they start playing the bird sounds and stuff, so no one can hear you. I was like, man, I would love it. I'm so tired of hearing, the dad. Which like might be louder than the birds, but still like give me something. Give me something.
Is that what you have at home? Is it like that full on?
Well,
Japanese?
I need to put a new one in because I have a buddy who has like a full on Japanese when you walk in. And like I'm like, man, that's when I get my own home, that's the first thing I'm installing. But I think also what I love is in Argentina, no matter where you went, every time as soon as you walked in. So it's like, oh, hey, come sit down. They'll bring you like a little snack, something to drink. And then it's like, okay, are you ready to eat? Then you'll do like another course of meal. And then you'll do like usually like a protein. And then you'll get like something to end the meal with. Like it was, but it was like all a part of the visit. You know, so it isn't necessarily like we're eating dinner. It's like, oh, because you're here, I'm going to bring this out. We'll get some mate, we'll drink, we'll talk, and I'm going to bring another thing out. And I was like, oh, I love that because it's just so fun. But it was really great when, you know, my ex kind of leans over and was like, don't eat too much because we're going to a couple houses and this is going to happen every time. And you have to eat it, and you have to, you have to eat it because you don't want to be rude. So it's like, but it's like just the course, and there's just something kind of so sweet about that. Like I know, Nigerians, what we would do a lot of times is we have these like fried kind of like flour sweet crunchies called chin-chins, and so like my dad would usually have us bring out like that and some peanuts when a guest comes by. But it's like there's just something to like, okay, you're sitting down, I'm gonna bring this out. And I think that I want to get back to that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna commit to that now. Whenever somebody comes over, we'll just run it up.
And I think a lot of places do it in like a way that is surprise. It's like it's actually kind of simple if you look at it. It's just like they take the chips out of the bag, put it in a little bowl.
Yes.
They cut up a little cheese. It's all stuff that you already have. They're not just like tossing the bag of chips to you. Like, hey, you
like having company ready food at all times. Because like in the Netherlands, it's like you have your cheese box. And you have fresh bread at all times. And so you're always pulling out the cheese box.
I don't think we as Americans fuck with fresh bread enough, and that's the one thing we always get dunked on about from Europeans. Is like, y'all bread is weird, but we
and they're right.
They are right.
But and it sucks.
Luckily for us, both of us are living close to bubbing grandmas. And it's something. So I used to work at Panera Bread. Like that was one of my early jobs. And I used to be like, I want to be the person who like goes to a shop like this, gets it sliced, and that's my bread. But I just don't ingest enough bread to ever make like artisan bread,
Well, because I've gotten into sourdough making, and I make 2 loaves at a time. And one we cut up and then put in the freezer. Ooh. And then that's just always ready. Just break it out, toss it in the oven for a little bit, and it's pretty much fresh bread right there.
Okay, so I need to get some starter from you is what it is.
We
actually have a really good starter. We got it from my mom.
Yeah.
So
okay. I'll take the starter. I'm down.
Great. All right. Are you ready for a lightning round?
Yes.
So these are going to be either or questions.
Okay.
First one that comes to your mind.
All right.
Beach or mountains?
Ooh, hard one to start. Gosh, I know it's
both.
lightning. I think both, depending on the timing. If it's summery, beach. If it's like wintry, I love a mountain lodge.
Okay.
Coffee. Oh, you go.
Coffee or tea?
Okay, I have GERD, so they've been saying that I have to stay away from coffee. So
I'm sorry. I gave you coffee.
Oh, no.
Well, you also gave him tea. So.
Yeah, it's true.
So for now, I'll say tea just to appease my doctors, but coffee's always on the table.
Yeah.
Hot or cold?
Ooh, cold.
Oh, okay. City or country?
Oh, man. City.
Yeah.
Beer or wine?
Ooh, beer.
History or modern?
History.
Clubs or cafes?
Clubs.
Mm. Early bird or night owl?
Ooh, both.
Both?
Both, yeah.
So you just don't like to sleep?
Yeah.
Well, just as a comedian.
You prefer awake.
Awake. Yeah. Sorry, we should have said awake or asleep.
Yeah.
Fancy or casual?
Ooh. I would say casual more, but I do like a fancy.
Okay. Fast or slow?
Oh, I think I'd say slow.
Okay.
Dogs or cats or cows or monkeys?
Ooh, cats.
Ooh, okay.
This is very funny. I can tell you and Garrett are kindred spirits, not just because you mentioned Anthony Bourdain,
yes,
the god that Garrett worships, but also because when asked to choose in an either or, the answer is always both.
Yeah, that's also my answer.
You have Garrett palm disease for sure.
Yes.
All of the above.
Yes.
Yep.
I want it all.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos?
All right. So we are going to take a minute.
All right. Yeah.
We're going to crunch these numbers.
All right.
And then we'll be right back with 2 dream trips for you to choose from.
Excited.
Hi, one last ad before the season is over. I'm going to miss you. So with the season ending, that gives me more time to write on my Substack. You can go to garrettpalm.substack.com and check out what I'll be writing. I'll be writing about our trip to Colombia. Just recently went to Seattle, ate a ton of great food there. If you want to subscribe for free, you can do that. If you want to subscribe, get a paid subscription, get access to travel forums, get access to extra content. Would love that too. Also, I'm doing foratravel.com/advisor/Garrett-Palm. It's free to you. I just get some commission. The prices are the same, and you get extra perks from the places that I reserve for you. So it's a win-win. I'll help you plan a trip. So yeah, check it out. Check out Fora Travel and check out my Substack. I'm planning a trip in the fall, hopefully, and you'll want to see where I go. I want to see where I go. You'll see my planning of it. I'm still figuring it out. I know I want to eat a ton of pizza in Naples. Kind of leaning towards going to Algeria because I was in the airport once and it looked awesome. I'm also looking at Slovenia because that looks beautiful. Tell me where to go. Send me an email. Give me travel advice, tips and tricks, places you think I should go. agentsoftravel@gmail.com. All right. Back to the show. And we're back. Iffy, are you ready to hear your dream trips?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so who's going first here, Rachel? Am I going first?
Did I say that? You just said you wanted to go first.
Well, but I didn't say that on tape, so it doesn't count.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, Iffy, I am sending you for 10 days to... Part of your time there will be to host the EVE Online Fan Fest. Do you play EVE Online?
No, I'm well aware of it. I kind of played some of it, but I didn't get deep.
So the reason I'm sending you to this is because this game was created in Iceland.
Ooh.
And the Fan Fest is at the Harpa Concert Hall in Reykjavik, which is this big glass, like, light structure on the waterfront. It looks like elves made it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you'll spend part of your time in Reykjavik.
Yeah.
Hosting this big video game kind of festival. And also I'm going to put you in touch with Improv Iceland.
Ooh.
So you'll get a chance to do some improv there.
Yeah.
They have a really strong improv scene.
Yes.
So you'll get to know some locals there.
Yeah.
And you'll get to know, like, both in the gaming world and in the improv world.
Yeah.
You'll, of course, stay in an Airbnb kind of on the northern side of Reykjavik near... I'm not even going to try to say some of these names.
Yeah, look, I get it.
Yeah. But there is a hot springs. It's not really hot springs. It's a hot pool center.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, if I remember correctly, it's kind of on the northern side of Reykjavik that you'll be staying near. And the hot pools there in the city are incredible. Yeah. They are one of my favorite things. Like, I love the hot springs out in nature in Iceland. Those are awesome as well.
Yeah.
But in the city, I'm going to focus on you going to this one because you get to see the full city life in these hot pools. They are they've got multiple pools. This one has like one with like rocks and like all this. It's kind of it's very beautiful. You go in the morning and there's like the crowd before work. And then if you stick around, you'll see the retirees show up and start soaking and working out in the heated lap pool. And, like, all hours, doesn't matter the weather. It's cold, but, everybody's just hanging out. And then if you come back after, a day at the festival, you'll kind of hang out. And that's where a lot of people are kind of between work and home or between work and the pub. They go and like hang out in hot pools of water together and kind of relax. So like, morning is very quiet.
Yeah.
Afternoon gets a little bit like more energy, and then the evening, it's kind of more like people catching up with each other.
Nice.
So you'll see all sorts of city life through the hot pools. And then you'll check out scenes. Are you a Game of Thrones fan?
I read the books and I've seen some of the but I've seen some of the show. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll see. You'll get to see some of the spaces, the places in the nature, in the interior and the coasts of Iceland that were scenes from Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
Because they are like the nature there is incredible.
Yeah.
It is just these giant mountains kind of coming out of the earth, unlike like the many of the mountains we have, which are just all next to each other.
Yeah.
It's just rocks jutting up.
Oh, wow.
And like cool kind of beaches, black lava sand beaches. I'm going to send you to a friend's place in the Western Fjords.
Okay.
He's got a cabin up there where down on the water, they've dug up holes in the sand and put in bathtubs.
Okay.
Because you've got the ocean water coming up and then it's a runoff for hot springs.
Yeah.
So the hot springs fill up the tubs and you've got the ocean right there with these fjords all around.
Wow.
And so it's just, I'm sad I haven't been there myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you to a few board game cafes in Reykjavik and an arcade. The arcade is Freedy.
Ooh.
And it's just like an old school kind of fun arcade in Reykjavik. And I'll send you the Nexus, a board game like shop and like hall where a bunch of people play. Yeah, I'll send you to... it's called, what's it called? Thingvellir.
Okay.
Where it's where the European and the American plates kind of are they came together and now they're separating. So there's like this little tiny gorge there, but that's where the first Parliament happened was there, like the first in the world, and like that's where like all the different areas of Iceland would come together at this national park and like this gorge, and make all their decisions hundreds of years ago. So it's nature with history combined right there.
All right.
And then I'll send you to also some of the hot springs out in nature. So like Maivatn up north, it's just like. Of course, you'll go to the Blue Lagoon. It's very touristy, but it's cool. But Maivatn up north is like less touristy, kind of just as big, if not bigger. Just a beautiful hot springs out there. I'll put you up in some Airbnbs throughout the country that are close to pretty much your own private hot spring.
Hell yeah.
I'll send you in the fall. So you can still kind of go to some of the interior, which closes off in the winter. Okay. And there's a chance for being in a hot spring out in nature with the Northern Lights going.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a bucket list for me, and I hope is a bucket list for you.
Oh, it is.
And then, I think that's pretty much it. You'll see a lot of blackstone beaches, a lot of nature. Reykjavik is the main town. You'll kind of you'll host and get to know people in Reykjavik and like the gaming culture and the improv culture. So that's my pitch. Iceland.
Hell yeah, that was dope.
Okay, I take you over to a different hemisphere.
All right.
The southern hemisphere.
Okay.
For 2 weeks to beautiful Brazil.
Oh.
Brazil, that sounds kind of strange.
No, I'm in.
You're not. Okay, so the reason why I'm sending you to Brazil is Sao Paulo has the largest Japanese concentration in South America.
Wow.
So we're talking about a sick cultural fusion.
Yes.
So it's no coincidence that Sao Paulo hosts the largest anime convention in South America. Anime Friends.
Okay.
This has a ton of attendees and features various activities such as cosplay contests, karaoke competitions, and live performances by Japanese artists. So I'm sending you to this convention. You're going to be in Brazil for 2 weeks.
All right.
The first week you're going to be in Sao Paulo.
All right.
To explore this Brazilian Japanese fusion. So at this convention, you can choose to host or purely enjoy as somebody who's there. I have a feeling you'll like to be more behind or like integrated into the convention.
Oh, yeah.
So you can kind of be like LA's ambassador to the Anime Friends Festival convention. Okay. So while you're here, you will check out the anime scene, culture, and nightlife of Sao Paulo. So you'll be staying in. Also, I should mention, you can bring any friends you wish. You can have friends coming in and out of this trip as you go. So you're not going it alone, but I'm leaving it open.
All right.
Because it sounds like you like friends kind of rolling throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe some friends are at this convention, but you'll be staying in Villa Mariana, a cool, chill neighborhood. You'll be trying some modern Brazilian food at Tordesilhas.
All right. Look, it's Portuguese. It's out of our element.
It's not. Just doing my best. You'll check out Liberdade, the Japanese district in Brazil, where there are tons of otaku shops and like Phonomag and Anime Hunter. And you'll also be trying a lot of Brazilian Japanese fusion restaurants like Lamen Kazu and Espaco Kazu. You will get to check out the Galleria do Rock for its music, skate, and anime gear. And you'll also get cocktails at Tokyo Club, which is an anime-inspired rooftop. Right. So you're still doing the convention. You're going to after parties with themed karaoke. You're also going to you can choose whether you want to go to D-Edge, which is an electronic club, or you can go to The Week, which is massive and LGBTQ friendly.
All right. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Then also amidst all of this, like anime convention, karaoke singing, partying, you will also check out some of the other cultural stuff, like the Museum of Image and Sound. Which I believe the exterior architecturally was made to mimic Brazilian sidewalks folding in on each other.
Whoa.
So it looks very cool. You can also check out, because we mentioned art, the Sao Paulo Museum of Art. In addition to there is the Beco do Batman, which is sounds like Buca de Beppo.
Yeah.
Buca de Batman.
Buca de Batman.
Buca de Batman, which is its famous street art alley. So it began with a single like graffiti art of Batman, and then it grew into a huge street art alley. You'll also go to Mani, which is a Michelin-starred restaurant with a casual vibe. And there, oh my gosh, the creative genius Helena Rizzo, who is the head chef at Mani, is like iffy.
Wow.
Because she's like a huge Dropout fan.
Oh, wow.
So she'll go up, create your table, send you some stuff. So you'll have a cute little experience with Chef Rizzo. And then rounding out your Sao Paulo experience will be visiting nerd hangouts and gaming cafes like Outlaws and Geek House Brazil. They're very creative with the names. Yeah. Oh, and I also want you to go to Loja Monstra, which is their biggest comic book shop, which is also full of just like super vibrant, fun, like video game type art. Okay, cool. After this week of doing the convention, making friends, all this stuff, Then week 2, you're going to Rio de Janeiro to check out the beaches, history, and to do a little more partying. So you'll have dinner. You'll do a dinner at Apraziel, which is a treehouse restaurant. I don't know if it's good, but we love being in a treehouse. You'll walk around the Copacabana and get to check out the beaches there, which are very beautiful. You can go and visit the Royal Portuguese Reading Room, which is a very fancy building.
Yes.
You'll go to a samba nightclub.
All right. Yeah.
You can do a dance lesson, or you can just like fucking go for it. But you're going. You'll see Christ the Redeemer. You've got to see the famous statue.
Yeah.
And you'll also take a cable car to Sugarloaf Mountain for a sunset view. And you'll also chill for beachside drinks in Urca. Okay, I'm really excited about this. You'll also visit Museu do Amanhã, which is very like futuristic. It's like a future and science museum.
Ooh, nice.
And
cool.
Architecturally, it looks crazy. It's like this huge white structure that, to me, this is not going to sell it for you.
Okay.
It reminds me of like a giant fan.
Okay.
But imagine the biggest.
Yeah. Like paper fan kind of.
No. Like
a rotary.
like a fan you would use to cool down, but it's like all white and kind of like it looks like a Star Wars structure.
Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds cool.
Imagine a fan meets a stormtrooper.
Okay.
And it's kind of because they're white.
Yeah.
I'll show
Yeah,
it to you guys afterwards. I'm trying to do this for the audience and I'm doing it okay. Okay, cool. Then you'll go to more geek cafes and retro arcades. You'll check out Brazilian Foro music. So you'll get some of the music life. You'll chill at a secluded beach. And then do some more rooftop partying at Fosofobox, or you can go to a nerd-themed bar, Heavy Duty, which is a combination of metal and anime aesthetic.
Whoa.
So
I know,
that will be your trip. We're talking nightlife, Tokyo vibes, Brazil Japanese fusion, really good food, and that's it.
All right,
Okay.
Iffy. So now you have to choose between hosting for a video game you've maybe played once and seen the sights from a show you've seen a couple episodes of, or going to a country to see a fusion of one of your favorite things in the world and see how it's done in another place.
I know. I feel like that's that's really what really kind of started weighing it is like, I do love anime. I've seen many of them to completion. I think that is a fest that I would most likely be hired to host. I feel like if I hit up Eve, I'm like, yo, I don't really play the game, but I'd love to host it. I don't know if it'd go well. I mean, there's things that you've promised that we don't know if the chef is actually a Dropout fan. I might get there. It's like, actually,
that could be awkward.
I hate Dropout, actually. It's like,
oh my God, please leave.
Please leave. Actually, I hated that show.
Chef Rizzo would never.
Yeah.
However, it is like the amalgamation of one of my favorite. So Japanese cuisine is also one of my favorite, and thinking of Brazilian cuisine mixed with Japanese cuisine is very exciting to me. These stores, the comic book stores are great. The fjords are super exciting. The onsen was one of my favorite experiences, and to have all these kind of warm pools and these larger than life fjords seems so awesome. It is the sights I'm just seeing, and then going in the fall and potentially seeing the northern lights is great. But Brazil is Brazil, and there's many things we hit on. We hit on Japan, but I didn't even tell you one of my favorite film series is the Fast and Furious franchise. like my buddy Dominic Toretto said, we're not in America anymore. This is Brazil. And now I'm gonna have to.
And I'll say you can say that when you get
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
You can say that in Iceland.
Yeah. They'll hate it though. They're like, oh,
So-
you're done. So I think I'm gonna go with Brazil.
Yeah.
You had me. I thought I was picking yours. I was like, you nailed my like desire to work while vacationing to offset costs.
Yeah.
And so did you.
Yeah. Well, and
one that I think I would have a greater chance being hired for.
Yeah.
I beat you on a practicality.
Yeah.
But I also think I was excited to pitch Latin America because they are nuts for anime.
Oh yeah.
They are. They really are.
As Angelino, the chokehold that Dragon Ball Z has on Mexican culture.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Have you seen the video of the small village doing a Dragon Ball Z parade?
No.
Where they're like all dressed. I'll find
it's so good. But yeah, so the big thing, if you talk to anyone who's an anime fan that grew up in LA, everyone will tell you how we would watch Telemundo because they had the further along episodes than we did. So like it was just the Saiyan saga over and over, and it would stop and repeat, but they would go a little further. So if you were watching it, even though you really didn't know what was going on, if I would have nailed Spanish 3, I probably would have been able to watch it.
Yep. Wow, I had no idea. I never knew. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We will report this back. We just have to say, we currently do not have the funding to send you on this trip.
Cool.
So once we get the funding to send you on this trip,
I'll talk to anime friends.
we'll talk.
See if
Yeah,
we can make it
we will make
happen.
this connection. We will make this happen. We will make sure the chef. We're starting now. We're gonna start sending the chef now some dropout clips.
I'm just gonna go back in the kitchen and be like, watch this video.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that won't be annoying at all.
Look, I'm gonna look up when Anime Friends
It's
is.
in July.
Oh, so we missed it. So we got to get ready for Anime Friends
Next 2026.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you go right now. Unless it's right now. We're just starting. So.
No, it was July 3rd to 6th.
So we
just
missed it. Okay, yeah.
That's all right.
Oh, it just ended.
Yeah, that's right. So that means they're planning,
Yeah.
Now's the time to get in, actually.
Yeah, now's the time that they're booking their talent for it.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
I have a feeling, we're going to have you on next year to do a trip report because I have a feeling you're going to be doing this.
Yeah, I just DM them. Would love to host. So we'll see.
Oh my God.
We'll see. So watch this space.
That is incredible.
I know.
Yeah.
I hope this happens.
Do you reach out like that often and do people respond to you?
Sometimes it's easier when I know the company because then I can reach out to them directly because I am trying to get out to Berlin and they have Comic-Con. So see that's kind of how I do it. Just like if I can get them to bring me out, everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
should have been doing that more in the height of Eater.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Thanks for these ideas for cons to go to.
Of course. Yeah. Well, the world is full of great cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for India.
Except for
Because I did consider that. And
You
I was
looked
like,
into it?
any interest in anime in India? And they're like, no.
Okay.
It's like not.
So give it time. I'm sure India will be into anime soon. All right. Thanks for coming on. See ya.
Bye.
And that was Iffy and Nwadiwe, our final guest of the season.
Woo!
This was a rough season for me, but I had fun.
Yeah. You know what? Is it really about winning and losing? I mean, I still haven't heard about the promotion, so I don't know how many I have to win to make it happen.
Yeah, we're 4 years.
Yet.
We're 4 years in, and there hasn't been the promotion yet.
Yeah, they keep telling me one more season.
One more season. Maybe if we get ads.
Yeah.
And we can monetize the podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, you can help us. The listeners at home can help us with our promotion by telling your friends about it, giving us a review, giving us 5 stars or however many stars you want to give us, but we'd love 5 stars.
Yeah, and say hi.
Say hi, comment on Spotify, and comment on YouTube. All right. Have a nice trip.
Bye. See you next season.